Hi everyone, I'm Theresa with the Schrader Group. Today I'm visiting with the owners of Saturday Market Florals, a local San Antonio business where every wreath, arrangement, and holiday display is handcrafted using high-quality faux florals to help you create something truly unforgettable. Saturday Market Florals helps people create a statement with their home, business, or special event. So tell me, how did the business get started?
20 years ago, my partner and I decided that we were going to open up this business. It was actually suggested by our oldest daughter, who was opening up her own little retail venture at that time. And it was funny because she said, "Dad, I really think you ought to open up a shop too." And he said, "Doing what?" And she said, "Making your wreaths and arrangements." And he thought it was crazy, but I thought it was actually kind of a cool idea. And I couldn't get it out of my head. And I started thinking about a name, and I started thinking about the look and the branding. And so I convinced him that we should go ahead and get it started. And it took off. We did really well. We started at a place very close to Chris Madrid's, in the original Blanco Cafe, in Beacon Hill, where that area was supposed to become gentrified. It never did quite get there, but we built a clientele. And then we had to move because the city tore up the street in front of the store. I mean, we didn't even have sidewalks for people to get in. And so we moved over near Central Market on Broadway, and that's where most of our clients were coming from anyway. And then the recession came and nobody was spending money on that. So we went home based at that time, and our clientele followed us, and we built a studio at the house, and Felix continued to do all the work from there. And then I got relocated to Dallas. So we moved up to Dallas, and we actually, in our first season there, did a pop-up Christmas shop over on Lover's Lane in Dallas. And that was good for the season. And then I retired in 2022. So we came back to San Antonio, and again, we're going to be home based. We weren't going to do anything too crazy. And of course, at that point, everything was going to be, well, you need to be selling on social media. You need to be on Facebook. You need to be on Etsy. You need to be in this marketplace. But because our pieces are all one of a kind, it's kind of hard to do that, because by the time Felix would make a piece and get it photographed and get it all set up according to plan and then get it posted, it's sold, you have to keep doing it. So we weren't making the same thing over and over again and just selling, one more of those. And so in the end, we decided, it's a good idea to maybe open up a shop again. We ended up getting into a salon suite, which is basically turnkey. You just go in, you have your space 10 by 20. It was perfect for us. Set up. We knew how to do that. We'd done it several times, right? And got the place set up and opened. And then, you know what? When we're not there, people can still shop. The manager will help them in, and they can buy what they want. And then they can come see us by appointment. And it's working out really well for us.
How do you work with clients to design something that reflects their space?
Well, the thing we do is we sit down with the client. We see, well, what are they really after? What's their vision? A lot of people come in and they have a very specific idea of what they want. They know the color. They'll even specify the flower type they want. They may bring in their own container. Some people will bring us arrangements that they've had for years and they want them refreshed, and we're happy to do that. And then sometimes they just have no idea. They just know they want something new, right? And so the shop provides an opportunity to give them a showroom. So we can say, well, do you like something like that? Or do you like something like this? And just through a process of elimination, we can narrow it down to what they're really interested in. And then we try to customize it. So people will say, well, I really like that swag there, but I've got double doors. Can you make another one? Sure, we can make something that'll complement that, and you'll have the pair that you need. Or they'll say, well, I like this, but I want a different color theme to it. No problem. Or I like this, but can you make it bigger? Well, we can do big. We do big well. And so we just try to make sure that what we're doing is really something that they're going to enjoy. And I'll tell you, it's very satisfying when Felix finishes a piece like that, because, in this day and age, of course, I'm snapping it, I'm texting it to them, telling them their piece is ready. And the reactions we get are always, oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. That's better than I expected. And we really, know that we've done the right job when we've heard them. But we've even had people come and say that, I have something. I have a tree. I can put the ornaments on and I can put the topper on it, but I sure can't do it the way I see you guys do your work. Can you just come to my house and work with what I have? And we can do that. We're very accommodating, and just, we adjust the job to what's really going to suit them. And then we even get themed work that's very specific. We've done centerpieces and showpieces for charity galas. One in particular that was very memorable was for a CASA organization up in the DFW area, where the theme for that year's gala was the Alice in Wonderland. And so they had this whole thing about, teapots and teacups and playing cards, and they wanted all topsy-turvy and crazy, and we were able to make those arrangements that were really showpieces for them. And then they were able to actually use them later as prizes and gifts at the event for the people that attended. So, we just see where people want to go and what we're able to do. And, we're also honest with them about what we don't do. We do get people say, well, your work is really nice. Can you do fresh flowers? It's like, not our lane. We're not going to do the fresh flowers for you. But if you take the faux florals, we can make sure that we can make what you want.
When someone reaches out for a custom design, what does that process look like?
So we generally will start with a consultation. And we ask them, what do they have in mind? And we're very happy if they bring in photos or pictures, whatever their inspiration was that made them decide that they wanted this particular piece made. And then we see what we have in stock that we can use for that. But generally, we just make sure that we have a very good understanding of what they have in mind. And then the dimensions, where is this going? Is it a centerpiece? Is it going on a sideboard? Is it going, up on a shelf? It helps us really make sure that we get things proportional. And of course, we always like to check with them and say, and what's your budget? Because people have very different price points for what they're willing to spend to get what they want. And we want to make sure that we're going to be able to meet that.
After the holidays, how can people carry the same creative touch into their everyday decor or seasonal updates?
Well, Christmas isn't our only holiday. We were really big on Fiesta. And then we have special Easter work that we do. But really, it's just a matter of, what sparks for you. And so I'll give you a couple of good examples. We had a new customer that came into our shop since we opened it at the Oasis. And she had a number of flowers that she had bought. I'm not sure why, but she just bought, this carton of flowers, beautiful flowers, very high quality faux flowers. And she wanted them made into a wreath. And we said, okay, we can do that for you because you brought us the materials. These are the kinds of materials we like to work with. And so Felix was able to sit down and made her a one-of-a-kind wreath, with what she had available. And then it's an all-year thing. It's not just for the fall. It's not just for the spring. She can really keep it up all year long. And so what we can do is just tell us what you're interested in. We do the same thing with businesses. We had a business once that wanted us to, it was a Mexican restaurant. They wanted us to make them a wreath out of corn shucks because they specialize in tamales, right? And they wanted this huge wreath, and we did it with corn shucks and sunflowers. I think we've had a doll in there or two, and they were delighted with it because, again, it was something they could keep up all around to really publicize what their business was about. So, there's always an opportunity to put in something right that adds a decorative touch, but, is something you enjoy having around, and it raises your spirits and your mood just having it in your home or in your business.
What do you enjoy most about helping people bring the vision to life, whether it's their home, business, or special occasion?
So I think the thing for us is when they come in, they have an idea, right? Maybe they have a photo. And then we have to communicate with them about, well, what do you really want? And heck, you sell homes, you know how it is. I want this kind of house. And yet when you show it to them, it's like, well, no, I want this. And it's like, well, what do you want? Because I can find it for you, but you got to be specific, right? So it's very helpful when we communicate with them and we get on the same page, and then we're able to, stay in touch with them along the way until the process is finished, and then meet or hopefully exceed their expectations, because it means we've done our job well. If they get what they want, something that just delights them, and we were able to put our talents to work for them. Because I'll tell you, Felix is an artist, and my father was an artist, so I know how it works. He'll get an inspiration to do something, and he has to do it. He has to create it. And he'll even be where he'll be up all night. He'll be working something, and once it's done and he's satisfied. But I know that creative urge because my father used to do that. My father would paint throughout the night. And so he's got to make it. And so if he's going to create it, it's always good when it's something that's a real success, not just for us, but but for the people who get to enjoy it.
Where can people see more of your work and contact you to get started?
Well, certainly they can come by the shop. We like that, right? Because they can see the things in person. And that's at the Oasis Salon and Suites and Spa up at 1604 in Huebner. But you can always look us up on Facebook or Instagram under Saturday Market Florals.
Saturday Market Florals brings artistry and heart to every design for custom faux arrangements that last year after year to full holiday transformations. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us for more local spotlights and home inspiration.